Hello everyone, this is Stranger, and I will be showing you my new game today. It's called Astral Shipwright, and I think you're going to love it. So this is not going to be the same kind of game as Helm Rain, but I think you'll find that there are some things in common. Let's take a look. As you can see, there is not much to see right now. The environment is a work in progress. We have a bunch of buttons, and we can start building a ship. This is what the game is about. You'll be making spaceships, you will be earning resources, trading, mining, and using these resources, you will be able to build a bigger and bigger ship. So let's take a look at the different parts that you need in order to build a ship. We just added a compartment here. It's just a framework for a ship. If we try flying this ship, we are going to have a bunch of issues that we're going to fix. So, if you want your ship to go anywhere, you're going to need some fuel. So in order to do that, we'll have to add a propellant module, and we'll have to add an engine. Sounds good. You also need some maneuvering thrusters. You can turn in space without having some thrusters. So now we can go back and we have a new concept, which are equipments. Equipments are small parts that you can add to the side of a compartment. And there we go. And now we have a valid spacecraft. Of course, this spacecraft doesn't do anything. It's just literally a rocket. So let's try making it a bit more useful. We'll add a habitat, and we'll add some external tank. And there we go. We now have a basic spacecraft. And since we added an external fuel tank, we can actually replace the main module to use some cargo instead. And we now have a minimal, working, usable spacecraft. We're not going to be flying today. It's not the focus of this small session. I just want to show exactly what the game looks like, what you can build. So we're going to be playing a bit building spacecraft, and I'll show to in another stream what the gameplay can look like. Looks nice, right? In fact, since this is running in the editor, I can show it much closer. So you can see the detail that goes into the ships. For those of you who played Helm Rain, you can see that the detail is much better this time around. Okay. Let's see what more we can do. As you can see, you have a list of compartments. You can add new compartments. And you can edit compartments to add modules, equipment, and of course, you can modify the various options, like the hull type. So the hulls right now are purely decorative, but that should change later on. So you can keep adding modules this way. And if you would try to save your spacecraft, you will see that there is a bunch of differences compared to the last time. There is a warning that we have to ignore because it's a small bug, and you can see all the differences, all the spacecraft metrics that will actually matter in the gameplay. And of course there is a bunch of customization too. You can change the paints, and you should be able to edit more about the spacecraft, but that will come later on. One thing that is quite cool is that you can actually see through your spacecraft using filters. Here we can just see the modules, two nice cargo modules that fuse together. Then we have the structural detail, then the equipment, and the piping and wiring, and finally the hull. For now there aren't too many different items, but you can already create quite different looking ships. One big difference comes from the hull, using a more modern looking geometric hull. You can immediately see that the ship takes quite a different shape. Once your ship is complete, you can simply take flight. In order to do that, I'm going to need to add a propellant tank, complete the spacecraft, and then undock from the station. There we go. So that's it for today for the construction part of the game. We can just look at the ship with slightly better lighting. And you can check out the planet below. So as of right now, the Steam page and website should be up. You can check those for more details. And for those who are interested, I can answer questions if you have some. In the meantime, I can walk you through some in-engine details for the game. Because this right now was running inside Unreal Engine 5, right inside the editor. So we can take a look at different parts of the game. Compared to Helium Rain, the entire goal for the project has been to be more efficient. Helium Rain looked okay, but was quite difficult to get right. So with this game, the process is completely different. I'm not using any brand new feature from Unreal 5. I'm not using Nanite yet, for those who are familiar with the technology. But the workflow has been refined to deliver some high quality assets with minimal manual work. And I think the results are quite okay. There we have structural parts for compartments that you saw before. And this is a part of a propellant tank. And you can see the surface detail, even if everything doesn't show up on YouTube. So a question from Justin about mining. I don't have mining exactly nailed down yet in terms of features, but I think the idea would be to land or at least get very close to an asteroid, scan it in some way, and then try to extract resources from it. You would then either refine in flight those resources or sell them directly. At least that's the plan for now. Luke's question is about radiators. So getting rid of heat in a spacecraft is a very serious problem. I want to have radiators in the game, but I'm not sure exactly what the gameplay purpose will be. So I'm still thinking about that. No promises yet. One of the big features that I want to work on is actually detection, as in radar detection. While flying in space, I want people to just discover places and asteroids and other ships just by looking at their radar. And I want players to be able to buy better radars. I want people to be looking at the screen and see, oh, something's fishy here, or I don't know this place, I don't know that asteroid. So this is one of the features I want to add. Again, no promises. Another question about damage. Also want to have a combat system, which of course implies that there will be a damage system. I think such a damage system would be similar to Helium Rain, which is a kind of a simplified system where you just have bullet holes that, depending on their location, are going to damage some system or some other. Again, this is not something I have done yet, so I can only guess at what I will finally end up implementing. I will probably be writing something about the planets, because the planet system I developed for this game is, I think, quite interesting. We can take a look at the planet here. So you can get quite close to the ground, and you can still get some quite decent quality. In fact, when we were above the menu earlier, you could see that you could see the planet from very close. Let's have it again. There we go. The entire planet is painted and the texture file is massive, which is something that we wanted to do with Helium Rain, but we could never get it right because of technical limitations. Now these limitations no longer exist in Unreal Engine, and so we can do something that looks a lot nicer. Another question from Luke about the development and art times. So this game I will be doing entirely alone, at least as far as the art and programming goes. I will definitely be working with someone for the music, because I can't write music. And The game has been in development for exactly 1 year today. I expect, that is what the Steam page says anyway, to start shipping in early access on September 2 next year. So it's safe to say that development time will be around 2.5 years, maybe 3 years total, which is actually a lot less than Helium Rain, which dragged on for nearly 5 years, which is simply way too much. Nice planet. Okay. Waiting to see if anyone has any more questions. All right. Well, you should take a look at the Discord server. You can chat and ask if you have more questions, want to know more about the game. Next year, I will definitely be trying to have a few players try the game, give me some feedback. So don't hesitate to follow the Discord server to see if you can get in early. And I'll be back soon. Thank you guys.